go. Playing on the road on a Friday night, not a problem for one NBA team. This is Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com. The Chicago Bulls versus the Brooklyn Nets at the Barclays Center. There is currently no betting line or total in the entire market, either offshore or here in Las Vegas. Definitely keep an eye out at SBRodds.com when the number is established. The Chicago Bulls have won 5 of their last 6 games, but it's important to note that only one of those games came against a team with a winning record, and they're still playing without the services of point guard Derrick Rose. He has been participating in full contact practices and is expected to join the team at some point this month. The reason that there is no line on the betting board right now is probably because of an injury to forward Carlos Boozer. He is listed as day-to-day with a hamstring injury, and I'm not expecting him to play in tonight's game due to the fact in researching on their website, he is not listed in the probable starting lineup. They didn't need him. The Bulls picked up a 104-88 victory over the Milwaukee Bucks as 1.5-point road underdogs on Wednesday night without the services of Boozer in the paint. He was one of 4 players to score in double figures when the Bulls picked up an 83-82 victory over the Nets as 4.5-point home favorites in the first meeting during the 2012-13 campaign. And he is a key piece when going against the likes of the Nets. He did average 18 points and 8 rebounds in 3 games last year in this series. They have won an NBA record 14 consecutive road games when playing on Fridays. So if you're looking for a key betting statistic and then just leave the rest of the day because you're just so confident in one item that you read, that is definitely it. An NBA record, 14 consecutive wins on the road when playing on Friday for the Chicago Bulls, and they also own the best road winning percentage in the entire league. When you look at a betting trend perspective, they are only 4-12 against the spread in the last 16 meetings in the series. But I kind of throw that and push it to the side a little bit because the Bulls have been favored so often this series, especially when having Rose and Boozer in the lineup. When you look at the Brooklyn Nets, I think they come off one of the deflating losses of the season, a 105-85 setback to the Miami Heat as 2.5-point home underdogs, going under the posted total of 191, a recommendation that I gave on Wednesday night. I think they put all their cards on the table there and go, listen, this is a measuring stick game and we need to play our best basketball. And the Heat kind of punched them in the mouth. It was really that measuring stick game with PJ Carlesimo because the first meeting against the Heat was under the direction of Avery Johnson, but interim coach Carlesimo on the sidelines now. Shooting guard Joe Johnson, the free agent acquisition for the Brooklyn before the season, is really struggling right now from the field, averaging 13.3 points on 36.7% shooting, but he does average 18 points in his career against the Chicago Bulls. He has put up some solid numbers, especially against them in the playoffs, the Hawks and Bulls meeting, of course, in a few playoff series over the years. Point guard Deron Williams is really the key player to handicap for the Nets. He battled through flu-like symptoms against the Heat. He should be better off in this one, and he's averaged 26 points in the last 3 meetings against the Bulls. I think the Nets are going to be possibly overvalued in the market, not just because of the Boozer injury, but also the fact that the public is starting to notice how well this team has played at the Barclays Center. This is their first year at this facility. 17-8 straight up and 13-4 against Eastern Conference opponents. And they are also 23-5 this season when holding opponents under the century mark offensively, 16-1 when holding them under 90. Of course, the only loss the first meeting against the Bulls this year. When you look at February, you kind of turn the page from January, you got to start looking at some statistics. This is the middle of the season, how some teams perform in your handicapping during the middle stretch, getting ready for playoff positioning. The Bulls are 19-6. in the month of February since the 2010-11 season, while the Nets are 6-19 in that very same role. Of course, they have some new players that haven't really been a part of that record, but it's still important to note. Also, when you're handicapping and developing a number for this game, even though Boozer is out, you have to notice that Richard Hamilton and Kirk Hinrich, the main starting backcourt for this team, with Derrick Rose being on the shelf for the entire year, did not play in the first meeting against the Nets. That's one of the reasons that I've established the Brooklyn Nets as just a 1-point favorite, maybe 1.5 in the market. So what that means is if the line comes out at 2 or higher, I recommend backing the Bulls, while if it comes at 1 or lower in the market, I recommend laying the short number with the Brooklyn Nets. This has been another edition of Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com. You're also going to want to check out a previous video that I did. That one features probably the marquee game of Friday night, the Miami Heat versus the Indiana Pacers. And any further information on those two games, you can follow me on Twitter at Jeff Grant Sports. Cut.